Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In War of the Visions, let's look at Giza, my second level 99 UR in Global. And she's special to me because I got her day 1. The first level 99 UR was Yerma, and I amazingly finished her in under 2 months. But Giza has taken the full 4 months. I only pulled her the once, but slowly bought her random shards and did her hard quests. In starting Global, I wanted to use units I didn't have in JP, and both Giza and Erude were on my radar. But amazingly, in the first 10 shot I did on my first install of Global, I got Giza, so I was like, great, I'll go with her. And then Erude is nearly Limit Break 4 on my JP account, so everything has worked out. And then I like the look of Giza. It's just my theory, but I think her look is based on like the mystical folklore fox spirit things. I'll put some examples up. She has what they call fox eyes. They're like thinner and then like flat on both the top and the bottom. And then also the way her hair is styled is not a mistake. I'm sure those buns are there to mimic fox ears. And then finally she wears bells, which is also a common fox anthropomorph thing in Japan. And her personality matches too. She's like a trickster. And I also like that she has ties to the Crystal Church. There's not a lot of info on that relationship, but I like to imagine that she was trained by them to be like Sasayaki, Inori, and Tsubuyaki. But something went wrong, or she rebelled or something, and now she's like a freelancer. I'm looking forward to seeing more of her in the story. I have one giant complaint about her 3D model, however. If we look at her 2D art, we can see this length of fabric hanging down her front. It's like thin and fluid and free. But in the 3D model, it looks like it's attached to her knees and ankles. Let's look at her animation there. Yeah, that's really weird. It like stretches, and it looks like a bizarre heavy apron made of like saltwater taffy. What's even stranger is that she has another cloth in the back of her, but that hangs freely. I think you can see that there. So why wouldn't they also do that with the front? But anyway, with this taffy apron stuck to her legs, I don't get as nearly as good a look at her churning, jiggling thighs as with her 2D version. So I say fix her 3D model, liberate her thighs. Same goes for Sasayaki, same goes for Orudoa. Alright, but let's actually talk about the game. We'll talk about her Trustmaster first. There might be more than a few users out there that have maxed her for her Trustmaster, but never actually used her in battle. So hopefully this review can give those people some ideas. There's no Trustmaster in the game that is necessary, I would say, except maybe Giza's. It's super helpful in high-level raids and high-level PvP. The accessory itself is nice, with some agility and accuracy, but it's the active skill that makes it great. You use it, and then at the start of your next 3 turns, you get some AP regen. So potentially you could be using your best skills the next 3 or 4 turns for those AP points. And there's a big difference between that and then the regular way of like doing an AP skill, and then doing a TP skill, and then doing an AP skill, and then doing a TP skill. Or worse, using TP skills over a couple turns in order to save up AP for one expensive skill. That could be like a limit break, which maybe you would not be able to get to use otherwise. So this Trustmaster is pretty much good on everybody, except for maybe magic users that want to use a lot of TP skills anyway. In JP there are a couple Trustmasters with similar skills, but they're not as good. Orudoa's accessory also casts AP regen for 3 turns, but for a smaller amount, and then it can only be equipped by heavy armor users. And then there's Gurasura's Armor Trustmaster active ability, which will restore AP immediately, but it's a one-time thing. Giza's is still the best, and I'm sure Gumi would like to nerf it, but that cow is already out of the barn. And so, with her Trustmaster, that makes really any account better. Giza is one of the best new account reset marathon candidates. I will probably never make a unit tier list, since I believe all units are good and fun if you put the effort into them. But if I were to make a tier list, there would be Ultra tier, which would be units that you like, that inspire you to play. And then there would be hyper tier units. Those would be brand new units. They're good to go for since their shards are in the shop and readily available. And then finally, the mega tier unit, that would be Giza for her Trustmaster. But I put these bells on my Shadow Links for the White Marshmallow raid, and that really put her into overdrive. The difference was very noticeable. I was amazed how much more useful she was. And then on units that don't have a lot of TP skills to begin with, like Gafgarion or Vineta, these can really open up those kinds of units. Alright, but let's talk about Giza herself. I said before, but she is a Swiss Army knife, good at lots of super specific jobs and situations. She is not a top tier attacker at all. For the first month or so, she was considered the top unit for PvP, but that was only because her agility was so high, so she could get the first attack and maybe one-punch someone. That's not the case as much anymore because many more units have better armor and vision cards and stuff. But main job Monk, so that gives her ranged attacks, multi-hit attacks, interesting support skills. And then a sub-job is Thief, more support skills here. This might be her most useful job. And then a sub-job Lancer, which I always forget that she has. But that gives her some ranged attacks, some close range attacks, so yeah. 3 different attack types, which makes her very, very versatile. But let's go into her ability board. We'll look at main job Monk. Here's Pummel. This is a nice chaining skill, and that will do strike damage. There's not really a strike meta, and there hasn't been one yet in JP, but someday it will come. And then here's Store. This is one of the best attack self-buffs in the game, so very nice to have that. And then Chakra. This is one of the support abilities. And then the higher your faith, the more HP and TP you'll restore to characters around you, so that's nice. And then also Revive, which will raise guys, or Purification, which will be like an Esuna. These are all going to benefit from higher faith. But true to Final Fantasy tactics, you can only use these on the guys that are on the same elevation as you. So you have to be right next to them, you have to be on the same elevation, so it makes it more difficult to use. I do appreciate that reference to the original game, but I wish it were, at distance or with greater elevation. And then Countdown, this can be good against tanks maybe, in longer battles where you can wait those 4 turns to take down a character guaranteed. Okay, and then if we look at Sub-Job Monk, we get a couple of ranged attacks, and then yeah, if you want it for farming, or you just want to put a little bit of distance between yourself and the enemy, then you want to use the Monk sub-job. But yeah, Surge Strike, this is the one that I use most often. Very cheap, you can use it many times. Range is not super great, but it's something. And then a Terra Slash is nice because this will be an AoE attack, but it only goes in a straight line, so yeah. Okay, and then I usually debate between using Monk or Thief subjob for Arena. But Thief is very nice. For the Arena, it's usually Snipe Dagger. This is her only slash type attack at range. So this could be good for chaining, maybe for raids, especially the first half year, 8 months of the game. There's lots of content that is good for dark slash attackers, so Giza can join in on that stuff. Maybe you used her for the White Marshmallow raid. And then she has a bunch of support abilities, and then there are 3 Thief abilities which I kind of consider the big 3. Steal Time, Steal Heart, and Mug. And then I think every Thief has 2 of those. I don't know if any of them have all 3. But the 2 that Giza has is Steal Time and Steal Heart. Steal Heart is great for high difficulty content. It could also be good for PvP. But yeah, basically you can charm a guy, and then they will join your team and attack the other guys. It's a little bit hit or miss in PvP because the AI in Global is still not there, where sometimes your own characters will attack the charmed unit, and so turn that off. If I really want to try out the Steel Heart, I'll use the Thief subjob, but if I want more guaranteed damage from like Surge Strike, then I'll use the Monk subjob. But Giza also has Steal Time, and this can be good for raids. This can slow down the boss, so you can enable more chains and things. And then Vineta, she also has the Thief subjob, so everything that I'm saying, almost everything that I'm saying about Giza here can apply to Vineta as well. But later on, we will get raid bosses that will be immune to Steal Time. But there's still something that the thieves can do, and that is Steal Vision. I didn't realize the usefulness of this until the recent Final Fantasy XIV raid in JP. But that boss was immune to both slow and Steal Time. But you could still use Steal Vision. And then this is great because it's at range, it costs TP points so you can build up AP gauge. It will not break chains. And then of course it will lower the accuracy. And then lowering the accuracy is pretty important for dark / characters because a lot of them are not very tanky and they rely more on evade. So to be able to lower the accuracy will increase your rate of evade. So yeah, this will be useful down the line as well. And then Steal, I never used that. And then here, this is a self-buff for Evasion. If you wanted to work on an Evasion build for Giza, which is very viable, you could certainly do that. And then here we can look at her master ability, but she picks up 10 Evasion, so yeah. You could also give her like a hat, a +5 hat, or a +5 ring, in order to go further with the evade there. And yeah, if you did want to go for that, probably Thief subjob is going to be best. And then finally we have the Lancer subjob, which I haven't really used, but which I do like. But it's a mix of like short-range attacks and then ranged attacks. I really like Shadow Stick here. It's an AoE attack that just hits very short range. But just being able to hit even like that diagonal panel is very, very useful. And then there's a chance of don't move here, so that would be another reason why you'd want to raise the faith on Giza. And then Sharp Spear, attack self-buff, Nighthawk, this is a ranged attack. Burst Slash. This could be AoE if you have two guys standing right next to each other. Mana Strike, this is kind of useful. Maybe if you used Whisper in the White Marshmallow raid, you used like AP break or TP break, that can be pretty useful against bosses that all they do is regular attacks. And then Earth and Glory, this is a very underrated attack. It's pretty expensive, so maybe you wouldn't be able to use it very much, but it'll hit everybody in this area, and it does pretty good damage. Erude, with his Earth and Glory, he took down 2 of my guys in some high-level PvP a little while ago, so I've always remembered it since that time. But yeah, with the coming of Warrior of Light, who is weak to Dark Pierce attacks, it might be interesting to level up these skills for Giza and go Warrior of Light hunting. If that's successful, maybe I'll make a video about that. But we can look at support abilities. We got Strike Mastery, raise Monk attacks. Thief Floor, this is very nice, move and agility up. And then Pierce if you wanted to use the Lancer subjob. And then Critical, this is kind of interesting. This will work with any of her subjobs. And then HP up and then AP up. Those can both be good. Although I don't know about the AP. Depending on how you use her, like if you're using her Thief TP skills, or if you're using her Monk TP skills, you wouldn't need AP as much as maybe some other characters. And so actually her Trustmaster might not be best in slot for her. You might want to use that for Evade instead. And then for reaction abilities, here is a counter attack that uses strike damage, and counter thrust, a little bit of range, does the Pierce attack, and then a quick action, this will raise agility. Giza's pretty fast. I don't know if she needs more agility, but yeah, you could put a counter attack on there maybe. And then Limit Break is nice too. This will give you Man-Eater, so this will be great in PvP. I see her use that a lot in PvP. And pretty good damage as well. So as you can see, she has a variety of skills and attack types that allow her to be useful in almost all high-level content. I used Steel Heart in the Brutal difficulty chocolate flan challenge. I was able to use that on the boss and basically take him out, and we would take down all the little guys, and then go for the boss later. But yeah, even if the boss is resistant to one of her things, she has like 2 or 3 backups, so there's always going to be use for her. She is a technical unit. She takes some thought and prep and execution, but you can get a lot of use out of her. And I think she'll have good longevity as well. And then as for teammates good for her, I would really recommend to pair her with a heavy-duty attacker, because Giza's damage output is not going to be enough to carry a team, not anymore. But yeah, technical, fun unit. I'm looking forward to see how she matches future metas, and I'm looking forward to see how her character plays out in the story as well. Super duper happy to have her. Okay, that was my level 99 review of Giza. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.